And I'm telling you, something about a broken back scares the crap out of me. Thank God for modern medicine at this point, because can you imagine? Everyone would be dead. If he remembers who he is, I think it's gonna look okay. But as we know, this industry, for whatever reason, is hush-hush about everything. I do think also, like our athletes, they don't have to. Well, I guess I do, because apparently Chase Sexton got a fine for not doing an interview, but that's a contract thing. I want to say yes, chef, and I hope you learned where the choke was. Did I use that twice? Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have. You know what? I should. I brought a prop. I forgot about it. If you don't have one of these, and you got a dirt bike, and it ain't zip tied together and like falling apart, smells like grease, oil, and gasoline with a paper towel in it, you're doing it wrong. The last race, the fastest line was tripling into the whoops, so you had a lot of momentum and a lot of speed to carry to skim. And with this one, you're skimming right out of a turn. He would have been 105. If he would have made third, he would have been at 103. So still ahead of Chase. And if he would have been fourth, they would have been tied for points. And for this next race, to stay only at a -18 deficit, he has to at least get a fourth. So if Ken Roczen doesn't get fourth this race, he's in trouble. As for Chase Sexton, he don't want to be talked about, so we won't talk about him. He don't want to give any bait. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the channel of 180 Block Pass. I'm your host, Destiny. We're gonna get into my predictions. We're gonna get into track details, injury updates, and points for the 450 class for this video. Well, that didn't last long. What is it, Poopy? You take your medicine, your nose wouldn't be running. You want to go watch dogs? Yeah, we haven't watched TV in 3 days. All right. Where was I at? Okay, so before we get started... Get out of here, Fuzz. So before we get started on this laundry list of injuries we got, quick note, this Saturday, gate drop is at 3. Race day live is at 9:30. That's Eastern time. So if you're somewhere else, you do the math. I'm not doing it for you. Be aware, because usually when the gate drops at 3, I don't know and I miss it, and it's a whole thing. I'm not going to miss it. Kind of excited about it because I kind of just want to chill this weekend and not really do anything. And I really don't want to stay up till 12 o'clock at night. And maybe I can get caught up this week and not put these videos out so late. There was something else. Oh, thank you guys for the positive comments and the encouragement. I'm really glad you guys like what I'm doing, because I put a lot of time and a lot of effort in these videos, and I try to make it not boring. I try to edit out all the pauses and all these things, and that takes a lot of time. So I really do appreciate the comments and the likes and the shares and everything. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you for that. Okay, now let's get started on the injury list. Okay, starting out with the 250s, obviously we have Pierce Brown out. We saw that huge crash on the whoop section last race in Tampa. He has broken his T5 vertebrae, and I'm telling you, something about a broken back scares the crap out of me. But these guys do it all the time. They got all the doctors, they got all the physical therapy things. He's gonna be okay. Thank God for modern medicine at this point, because can you imagine? Everyone would be dead. Anyway, Daxton Benedict got a concussion, so he's going to be out this race. Concussions can go from mild to severe, so if he remembers who he is, I think it's going to look okay. But as we know, this industry, for whatever reason, is hush-hush about everything. I do think also, like our athletes, they don't have to. Well, I guess I do, because apparently Chase Sexton got a fine for not doing an interview, but that's a contract thing. Yeah, that's crazy. I get it. They're trying to make money off of you. Like, you signed it. You signed up for this. Sorry. Don't feel bad for you. It's what you signed up for. That's what happened. I signed up for the Army, and guess what? I complained the whole time, and some days sucked, and some days were great, and sometimes it sucked so bad, but guess what? At the end of the day, I signed away my rights, and now everything's working out pretty good for me, and so I don't want to hear it. Get over it, crybaby. I said it. Jeez. But you do have the weight of the world in all these opinions, so I get it, but back to our list. So with the concussion, it could be, hey, just take a week off, come back the next week. And I think we go to Arlington. No. Yes. We go to Arlington. Okay. So we go to Arlington. What is wrong with my tongue today? We go to Arlington. Y'all done jinxed me. Said I could take Ricky Carmichael's job, and now I can't talk. Look at that. Going back to Arlington, so he'll get more of a break too for that little concussion he's got. I mean, I had a friend, he was a goalie this is a side note, but he was a goalie in high school, and the soccer ball went up to the top of the goal and came back and hit him on top of the head. Obviously, he wasn't wearing a helmet, but the dude couldn't remember his name for like a long time. It was really bad. It came back after, I don't know, maybe 3 months. So it could be bad. We won't know because, like I said, everything's a secret. So anyway, let's get back down to it. Casey Cochran, he's out with a leg injury. Oh my goodness, I can't say this. Maddie, well, I can say this one, but I might not be able to say the next one. That one's stumping me. Jorgensen. It's like Jordan, but no D and a G. Sen. So it would be Jordansen, but it's a G. So maybe it's Jorgensen. Or it is Jordansen, and it's just spelled weird, but his hand's messed up. Missed Tampa with a broken hand. Hopes to return to Daytona. That's a race I want to try to go to. I have a friend that lives in Daytona now, so we'll see. I have some things going on, so I might not be able to, but I'm thinking about going to Daytona in Alabama and obviously Concord. We'll see how the year plays out with that one, but that's the goal. How cool would that be? Go to 3 races. What? That'd be insane. I never get to do that. This year's about me. Not really. All right. It's definitely not about me. Devin Simonson, wrist out before the season, had to get surgery. Carter Stevenson's concussion, so he wrecked in Tampa. Yeah. So he'll be out for Detroit, hoping to get into Daytona. Is Daytona next? Yeah, those are all east. This is the west. Okay, so we're not going to go over them. Oh, the West Coast 250 is a list. Like, you see me scrolling? Okay, so Caden Clarkson, arm out. Broken in Tampa. So Tristan Lane is shoulder, arm, and elbow. That might be the one that wrecked with Kid. We'll have to look that up. No, maybe it was. Oh, he was the one that wrecked with Ken. Yeah, dude, that was gnarly. We'll read his post real quick. We'll throw it up here too. Should I point this out? I don't know if I should point this out, but I'm pointing this out because it irritates me. All right. I might get some flack for this, but listen, guys. So I'm going off topic. We'll get back on. Just give me a second. I can do what I want. They're my videos. So you know how we do the St. Jude little fundraiser thing? You get the t-shirt. It's like $20 a month. You know how quickly you can waste $20? Just do it. So you have the riders and they take the pictures of the shirt. Tristan Lane has he has 2 pictures of him in his shirt, which means it's important to him. So that's cool. He's excited. He's repping it. So I like that. I already do this, but I might do it again because I really like this year's shirt. Yeah. Okay. And then the Logan dude who's sponsored by OnlyFans, do what you want in life. I get it. It's fine. But he don't even have this picture on his page. So if that don't tell you something, I don't think that's his ways is something you should look up to. I just don't. Because you know what? All the guys who are on the top, they support stuff like that. So maybe your luck would be better, meaning you'd get more blessings in life if you put others first. But that's just my opinion. All right, let's go back to racing. So Lane's words right here. Tampa was wild. Beach emoji. It was awesome to finish 8th in the heat race and head to the main event in front of so many friends and family. I definitely read that backwards. As many of you know, I was involved in a pretty scary crash around the halfway point of the main. At the first, I thought my arm was destroyed. I was so grateful to find out later I had no broken bones. I did beat up my arm/elbow pretty good and needed some stitches. I also got an MRI on my shoulder Monday and found out I have a partial torn labrum on my left shoulder. Thankfully, it doesn't require surgery. The only other damage I have is weakness in my left hand and obviously a lot of whiplash and soreness. Thanks to all who have reached out and checked on me. It means a lot. Also, I'd like to thank Alpine Star Crew for taking care of me 2 days ago. So he is on the injury list, but he might be racing. That's something we're going to have to look out for because that's crazy. So Christian Craig is still out with his knee injury, but he's supposed to be back. I don't know. He's older. Maybe it takes longer to heal. He doesn't care as much as the kids, so he's just healing. He's got a family. He's got stuff to do. But he will be in Indianapolis or, what's the Alabama place? Birmingham. Hunter Lawrence, shoulder out, is expected to miss the rest of the Supercross. Sustained a partially torn labrum and multiple cracks in his humerus. That would be your arm bone. Jet Lawrence ACL, we know this. Freddie Noren, shoulder to be determined. He was doing well. Prado, shoulder. I don't know why this dude's out for his shoulder. I think Kawasaki is just trying to baby him. I don't know. It's hard to say because I haven't seen the MRIs and stuff. And I know longevity, it's best to rest it. But if if I had $1 every time I dislocated my shoulder, granted, there's a lot of things I can't do anymore. I'm just saying, I wouldn't have to do this. I'd be rich. Eli Tomac. Wow, that dude raced with a bone snapped in half. Did you see that x-ray? Look at that thing. Look at it. Look at that bone. It's completely cracked in half. Just snapped like a twig. Insane. So that's our laundry list right there. Hopefully they'll go in the dryer soon and we can put them things in the closet. You know what I'm saying? Be done with them. So before we make predictions, let's talk track. This track is another right-hand turn. What does that mean? No rear braking, at least not efficiently. Get ready for some possible carnage on the whole shot area. I mean, I'd be very surprised if nothing happens. The way Tampa went. And people were complaining about the Tampa track. Dude, the Tampa track was freaking sick. I don't care. Like, if you can't ride it and you're messing up, like, that's on you, bro. That track was so technical. It was so sick. The sand was just so thick. That sand saved so many people's butts because the wrecking in the sand, I think that's why Kenny is okay. Because if he would have wrecked that hard on the hard packed dirt, the list would have been longer. And man, that dude with the arm lane, he would have been fine if it wasn't for that bike. But anyway, so we got a right hand turn into a little rhythm, looks like probably a triple into 180 and then to the whoops. Now the whoops on this, let's see, how many is there? Okay, so there is 10. There's a little hump going into the whoops. So the last race, the fastest line was tripling into the whoops. So you had a lot of momentum and a lot of speed to carry to skim. And with this one, you're skimming right out of a turn. Really nothing to carry your momentum. So this one should be a little bit interesting. I don't know how it's going to break down. I really don't know about the dirt. Then we have another 180 turn, then probably another triple. There might be somewhere in this next lane where they would quad something. I'm not really sure. I guess we'll find out. And then we go into a huge, wide, long, still a 180 technically, but it's not. It's like a elongated 180, but it's all sand, so that should separate some people a little bit, so we shouldn't be as bunched up with the lappers, I'm thinking, in this track. Then a double, and then the finish line goes into a little left hand 90 straight away, right hand 90. That one's going to be interesting. I feel like if you try to take the inside on that, you're going to slow your momentum down like really bad. But there's going to be some line options with this backside rhythm section, some on-offs, some tables, possibly some kind of quad through this section. We'll find out. Another 90, and then 3, probably triple, or quad double. I don't know. We'll see what these guys pull out of their sleeves. There's no telling. But with Jet gone, maybe they don't feel like they have to quad anymore. So we'll see how that turns out. 180, and then this one's they're either gonna jump the whole thing, or it's gonna be a double or a triple single, something like that. I can't know if I think that's a 180 back to the first rhythm lane. That's kind of awkward. So it's we kind of have two straightaways. All right, so that is our track map, and that's what we're going to be looking at when we go into who's going to line up where. Something to keep in the back of your head. Okay, so the last bit on the track, I think the whoop section is going to be something we're really going to have to keep an eye on, just because it's set up differently this race. So yes, Malcolm was like killing it last race, but this is different. So if he does it again, he gets momentum in the turn, maybe takes the outside lane so he can get going fast. I don't know, with that little single before it. I don't know how the drive's going to be on the whoops, but that's something to watch for sure. So with the 250 guys, can we even really guess right now? I feel like we're still in the dark about a lot of things. I really hope Austin Forkner is up there this race, because I just want to see the coolest story in history, okay? The coolest dirt bike story in history. I mean, there's a little like small documentary someone did on YouTube. I can't remember the name of the channel. Moto something. Anyway, just look up Austin Forkner's like life or something. And this kid is a miracle baby. Like, he wasn't supposed to be born. I think his mom was having trouble conceiving a child or whatever. So that in itself is just like the beginning of the coolest story ever. So I really want to see this dude like number one. That would be so cool. We need to come back. It's time. It is the year. He's going to be a dad. Like, let's get this thing under our belts. That's what I'm hoping for. Don't know if it's going to happen. But with that being said, the Yamaha team that was dominating last week in Tampa might not be dominating this week, because 2 of the 3 are out with injuries. So Max Austin, he's going to be ripping. He was ripping last year. Now he's on a fast bike. He's got a team. He's got all the things. Hopefully their uniforms are way cooler because I think they'll be faster if their uniforms are better. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's going to do good again. Give me a list of these names. McAdoo. Ooh, yes. McAdoo was looking great. He had the ACL tear. He was definitely limping. We'll see where he's at. I know there's things you can do strength-wise. I mean, he's fast. He's a threat. I hope to God, and I really hope for the Kawasaki team, they stay okay with all these injuries. But besides that, Levi Kitchen, please, dude, where are you? I can't say, yes, chef, if you ain't up there and you're doing all this crazy nonsense. I want to say, yes, chef. So, it's up to you, dude. And I hope you learned where the choke was. Did I use that twice? Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. You know what? I should. I brought a prop. I forgot about it. If you don't have one of these, and you got a dirt bike, and it ain't zip tied together, and like falling apart, smells like grease, oil, and gasoline with a paper towel in it, you're doing it wrong. And if your book looks nicer than that, you probably got a lot of money. You got a new bike, so you ain't got to worry about it. But okay, moving on. I had that book in here for another video. I didn't grab it just for this video, but I was like, this is a fun prop. Tom Viel apparently takes some time to warm up, so we'll see what he does. Because McAdoo is hurt, I would say he would be first, but he's hurt, so now I don't know. But I think McAdoo will be top 5. I hope Austin Forkner will at least be top 10. I want to see RJ and Max go at it a little more head-to-head, so I'm going to say, just because I don't think Max is going to win twice, I hope I'm wrong because that'd be cool, but I'm going to say RJ, Max, Hammaker, Kitchen, McAdoo. Kitchen, don't disappoint. I don't know if that was 5, but that's what I'm going to say. Nate Thrasher's going to be in the top 10. Chance is going to be in the top 10. RJ's a wild card because that dude's always getting in trouble, but he won last year, so. Okay, let's move on to the 450s. Okay, so with the 450s, I want to start off with the point standing because here's the thing. The real question is who is left? Well, we know who's not here. Jet's not here. Tomac's not here. Who else got hurt? Like, it just seems like everybody got. Hunter got hurt. I mean, he's in top 5 all the time, but he's not there anymore, so now he's definitely not a contender for the podium. Dylan Fernandez, where was he last week? Where was Dylan? So, according to Dylan Fernandez's story, did some laps yesterday, still a little sore, but good enough to race. So, we'll see him there. I don't know if he's going to be at the top, but dude's been fast. So, back to the points. Okay, so I did some math. If we lived in a world where Ken Roczen did not get obliterated in the sand, and say he got first place last race, he would be at 107 points, which means he would be in first, and he would have the red plate again. And Chase Sexton is only at 101. So he would be 6 points ahead of Chase, even with this. So even with the 4th that Chase got, Ken Roczen would have been 6 points ahead. So there's that. If Ken Roczen would have made 2nd, he would have been 105. If he would have made 3rd, he would have been at 103. So still ahead of Chase. And if he would have been 4th, they would have been tied for points. So what does that mean? Ken Roczen has to do work, and he can't get into this chaos. And for this next race, to stay only at a negative 18 deficit, he has to at least get a 4th. So he needs to get a podium to get his name to stay where he's at and to start working his way back up if he wants to contend for the title. So if Ken Roczen doesn't get 4th this race, he's in trouble. He's already in trouble. He doesn't have, I know it's a long season and anything can happen, but the best plan of action is to just stay up there and stay consistent. Have one mulligan and call it good. And Cooper Webb knows that the title is a possibility with how it's looking right now. And he is 96 in points, so he's 5 points deficit. Jason Anderson in 3rd, Ken Roczen in 4th. Eli Tomac is in 5th. He's out for the season, so he's just going to keep going down. So that would automatically go ahead and put Malcolm Stewart in 5th, so top 5. And if he rides like he's been riding, there's a possibility between Jason Anderson and Ken Roczen, he'll go above them. Who knows? Maybe. What if he just like wins the whole thing? That'd be crazy. Hey, you never know. Jets in 7th. He's going to keep going down the list, which is going to bump Justin Cooper up. Hunter Lawrence is out, so that's going to boost up Justin Hill and put him in the top 10. Justin Barsh is in 9th, so we have 3 people right now that are in the top 10 that are out. So Justin Barsh is probably going to move to 6 or 7, which is going to probably put Joey Savacci, he's in 12th, probably put him in the top 10. Aaron Plessinger, possibly put him in the top 10. Dylan Fernandez has just been getting into some craziness, and if he's okay and he rides some more, there's a possibility for him to get into the top 10, especially by the end of the season. So there's room for people to start moving for sure. And with all those names being listed, I want to focus on Webb real quick. So the last race, he went from 10th to 3rd, and he was kind of following Malcolm Stewart throughout, so I don't know if he was following his lines. I'm sure he was just, hey, this guy's making a path. I'm going to get to the top and just path of least resistance. So there was that. But in order to get to where they got, they had to pass Justin Barcia. They had to pass Justin Hill, who's riding really well. So, and Jason Anderson, who we know, even if he's slower, he's still going to defend his position. So there was names that they had to pass to get to where they were going, but they still did it. So, and I think Cooper Webb's got his eyes on the prize this year. So I think he's going to be a threat for sure. And it wasn't this last race, but the race before, he had the look, he had the fire in his eyes. So he might have that again here in Detroit. We'll see. I know Ken Roczen kind of starts going backwards the longer the season goes on, but I feel like this year is different. We will find out. We'll see what he does. The injury list is high. I think if it was me, it's prime time to get cooking, like for sure. As for Chase Sexton, he don't want to be talked about, so we won't talk about him. He don't want to give any bait. He's five points ahead, so really to keep his momentum, he's definitely going to need to get on the podium again, which I think he can. I think he's so frustrated with himself. I mean, you have to be. I would be. It could also be his year. And if it is, it's also a cool story because he's like, you know, I did this, I did that. What was that meme I saw earlier today? Dude, that made me laugh so hard. If y'all ain't following Supercross Voices, you're doing it wrong. This dude, I'm assuming it's a dude, is hilarious. Oh, what I'm saying is I'm not the only one saying it. That's a lovely front end you got there. Be ashamed if you tucked it. And then the picture he used was perfect. Now, I'm kind of going on a tangent here too. Like, this dude started out last year or the year before, and then Instagram, Facebook, Meta, whoever, because he uses AI stuff and they didn't have a way to fix this and say, hey, it's AI, they put him in jail, in social media jail for a long time. And he's doing great. And I love it. It's so much fun. He's expanding. He's got Eminem in here now. I guess once the presidents change, you have to kind of expand it. Yeah, that's good stuff. Makes me laugh pretty much every day. That's every week. So if y'all don't watch his stuff, you should. And shouldn't take everything so personally. It's so funny. I'm just glad someone went there because I just can't. I want to. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. What's in your heart is in your heart, right? It doesn't matter if you say it or you think it. It's still there. So, but man, there's some things I could say that I don't say. I think that's for a lot of people. I'm practicing for when I take Ricky Carmichael's job. You know, I gotta be biased or whatever. Nah, screw that. I won't be my own boss. I won't do that crap. But it is in Charlotte. Who knows? We'll see. If this goes well, maybe it could one day. But that's my predictions. Thanks for hanging out with me. I can't wait to see the gate drop. We'll see you guys in Detroit.